Well, friends, it's time for another tier list. This one is the power rankings of the killers in Dead by Daylight. We are going all the way up to the Castlevania chapter, which is present day. Whew, there's a lot of killers, so I'm not going to be able to talk about each one too much. We're going to move relatively quickly, and I'm just going to give my opinion. As always, tier lists are subjective, especially when it comes to power rankings, because guess what, guys? Unless you're talking stats, it doesn't really matter. But there are some agreed upon consensuses that a lot of people kind of take as law. And you'll see some of those come through. All right, we're going to start with the Trapper. Trapper, I think, is still D tier, but he's definitely better than he used to be. He's got the nice haste. He's one of the best campers in the game. I almost want to put him low C tier, but I think against really good teams, and this is a tier list where we're assuming good teams against good killers, he's still going to get sauced pretty hard. So I'm going to put him in D tier. Wraith, I'm going to put Wraith. Oh, dear God. My apologies for that. I am not going to restart the recording, though. We're going to keep going like nothing happened. Wraith is B tier. He's solid all-around killer. Good mobility. Decent chase. Not great, though. I mean, he's an M1 killer, but he's got his lunge, and he's got his body blocking and cloak. He doesn't really have any bad maps either. So for that, I'm going to put him in B tier. Again, this is going to be rapid fire. Get used to it. Billy, straight into S tier. The rework boosted Billy up to unimaginable heights. He is, in my opinion, based on what I've seen, the best killer in the game right now. Because he's got insta-down. He can get a hit at any loop, anywhere. A good Billy can bounce off walls and do crazy flicks and curves, and there's just no escaping a good Billy. You can pre-drop against him, but, you know, he's going to catch up to you. He's lethal as hell. He's got map control, lethality, chase, everything. Good add-ons, too. So until they nerf him, he is S tier. And he's got a friend up in S tier, the nurse. She is right below him. Yes. For the first time since the Spirit was super overpowered back in, like, I don't even know, 2018, 2019, I don't think Nurse is the strongest killer in the game. She's very close. She's probably stronger in a one-on-one chase, but he gets downs quicker. And he's got way better map mobility. So, yeah, Nurse is still strong, but she's not as strong as she used to be. She's been nerfed a bunch, and Billy's been buffed a bunch. So, yeah, S tier. Two very, very, very strong killers that will probably win every game if they're running a strong build and in the hands of a very talented player. Michael Myers, straight into D tier. He's outdated, old-fashioned, washed up. He's good for nothing. Now, you could argue that if you rate him on Tombstone Piece alone, he could be C tier and B tier because he can just murder someone, and it might not even be their fault. But even that as counters, you can if you're in any kind of animation, vaulting, repairing a generator, in a locker, he can't murder you. He has to catch you in the open. And even then, sometimes it doesn't work. He's just painfully outdated, and he really needs some TLC. Hag, I'm going to put her B tier. I think she's still a pretty strong camper. I think she can still control a map area pretty well. But the nerfs to 3 gens, you can only kick a gen so many times. You can only regress a gen so many times. You use Eruption. You can only erupt a gen 4 times. True. Plus the fact that you can wipe away her traps, and the game has just gotten changed. Survivors have gotten so much stronger against Hag. I think she should be a 115 killer, not a 110. This isn't a balanced discussion, but yeah. In my opinion, Hag is just not the high A tier killer she used to be. Put her above Wraith, though. Doctor, also B tier. I put him a little above Wraith because I feel like he's got better anti-loop and he's got good detection and he's got a little bit of built-in slowdown with his kit, but he's nothing special. A Doctor should lose against a good team. And that's from Herman the Doctor, one of the most prolific Doctor mains in the game. Not a ton to say about him. He's a solid killer, though. I could see an argument for him being below Wraith, but I'll put him above Wraith for now. Huntress. I think she's still A tier. She's gotten some nice buffs. But she's not the terror, quite the terror she once was long time ago. Survivors have a lot of ways to evade her, and the maps have kind of left her behind. Yes, Hag is 110. Werecat. Hag is 110. Yeah, slow as heck. She's very outdated. I think she should be 115, but that's just me. Huntress is fine at 110 though. Powerful range killer, A tier, but I don't think she's quite as good as she used to be. Bubba, I would put in low B tier. I feel like he's a lot better to control now. He doesn't bump. And if you do bump, it's not as punishing. He's easier to get around loops, and his add-ons being partially base kit now makes him less add-on dependent. He's a solid killer, really. But good teams are still going to wreck him. Freddy, straight to the bottom of D tier. Horrible killer. Worse than Myers, way worse than Trapper. I don't care that he can teleport around the map. I've said this a million times, but if you get to endgame as Freddy, you literally have no power. Everyone's awake, potentially, and there's no generators. So you're just a stealth killer, a slightly stealth killer, excuse me, with no power. So he's terrible. He's outdated. What an absolute shame. Pig. I don't know where to put Pig. I think bottom C tier is where I'd put her. She's gotten a little bit of a rework, a little bit of a buff where her ambush attack is a bit better, but and her traps are still good. But she's basically just an M1 killer. She's gonna get run hard. I kind of want to put her D tier, but I think I can see an argument for low C. Clown. What about there, actually? Clown's solid. Good chaser. Obviously, he doesn't have great map control, but there's killers that have worse map control. Like, his bottles give him some nice speed, and he's got some good add-ons, too. Like, he's a very simple killer to play, very effective. I could even see an argument for him being above Wraith. But, I'll put him there for now. So, solid killer. Spirit, A tier. Above Huntress for sure. Spirit can, she forces a lot of 50-50s. Gets good pressure. She's got great mobility, good chase. She's not S tier though. She's not busted. I think if you play the 50-50s correctly and such, and the fact that she is 110, like outside of her power, she's useless. Speaking of being useless outside your power, let's talk about Legion. God. I want to put him D tier. Sincerely, I want to put him D tier. I think against a good team, he's absolute garbage, or they are. But the fact that they get free injures, I'm going to put C tier. Below Pig, though. Like, they're just a M1 killer. Like, you just run them all day. Who cares if you're in deep wound? You know? Who the frick cares? Run the loops well. He'll never catch you. But we're rapid fire, so let's keep going. Rapid fire. Plague. I want to put her atop B tier. Honestly. I know. A bit of a hot take. Most people consider Plague A tier. But I think the same thing with Legion. In that, if you get a good map with good loopers, and you don't cleanse and her fountains are in bad spots, she's just a tall, loud M1 killer. Like, yeah, she injures for free, and she can camp, but camping has never been worse. They have nerfed camping so much. Between the anti-camp and the 70 seconds per hook stage, camping is not a good strategy anymore. Proxy camping even is not that great in my opinion. I think against a really good team, assuming she doesn't, she gets a bad map, she's B tier. Like, this is not a list. I'm imagining strong Swifts. Like, I'm imagining, or at least strong teams. 4 strong survivors. They loop well, they pre-run, you know. I'm not gonna say against average survivors. This is a good player against the good players. So, high B tier. Ghostface. Oh, I want to put him D tier. I think I will. Against good survivors, I think he's top B tier. I think he can get some surprise hits, even against a good team. And he might even get some markdowns. Am I really going to put Ghostface below Legion, though? Yeah, I will, because at least Legion injures for free. Ghostface gets nothing for free. He has to work for it. He's an M1 killer as much as Legion is. More than Legion is. Legion can use his power for mobility a little bit. Yeah, Ghostface gets wrecked by good teams. Just wrecked by them. Doesn't even have to be a Swift. Just good aware survivors going to wreck Ghostface. Sorry. Demogorgon. I mean, does anyone ever not put Demo in the B tier? The question is where. I think he's about clown level, honestly. Similar to clown, I think. Weaker anti-loop than clown, but still good. Pretty good map mobility. Jack of all trades. Fun killer. I can't recommend him enough. I don't think he's the perfectly designed killer, like so many other people say. But he's good. Demo's a lot of fun. I think, though, Wraith is more flexible and has less bad maps. And is going to do better against a strong team than probably Demo. Demo's still going to get run. He does bad on small loops, where Wraith can kind of play small loops sometimes. Oni. Oni's going to be A tier. He's going to be high A tier. He's a monster. I've seen good Onis like Juglet and... Whoa. Yeah, Oni's... I think you could easily argue top 6, top 7 maybe. Amazing killer. The fact he's got insta down, map mobility. He's basically like Billy, except for he has to earn his power and Billy doesn't. And his power is easier to control than Billy's, but Billy's is probably more powerful, honestly. The speed that you get with, overdrive or whatever you call it, yeah. But yeah, Oni's good. You just have to earn it. You start as an M1 killer, so he'll never be S tier because of that. Deathslinger. Oh, this is a tough one. I kind of want to put him A tier, but I don't know if I should. Is he really stronger than Plague? No, he goes above Hag here. He's a strong killer. This is a very strong killer, but he has his limitations. There are times where you're going to hit the sickest shot as Deathslinger and you just can't get the hit. Because it gets stuck on something, or the survivor knows how to get themselves stuck. Yeah, he can shoot through all kinds of gaps, but despite all the crazy trick shots and such, the fact that he's not guaranteed injures by hitting his power, and Huntress is, I want to put him A tier. I really do, but I can't. I think I'm going to drop Hag down a bit, honestly. I'm going to put her right there. I think these two killers are more consistent than her. Legitimately. We'll keep making adjustments as we go. All right, let's talk about Pyramid Head. He's a strong A tier killer. I put him above Huntress. Now, Huntress can do amazing things, but Pyramid Head can tunnel. He can tunnel like no one's business. And he can get a hit almost anywhere. Yes, his power is very dodgeable, but sometimes you dodge into his power. Sometimes it's through a wall and you can't see it coming. While he has no map mobility, he's extremely lethal in chase. And the fact that you can just tunnel someone straight out of it. Like, you get them tormented, you hook them, they get unhooked, you hit them the moment they get unhooked with your Punishment of the Damned, you get a double injure, then you down them because, they're probably in a bad spot, assuming you hooked in a dead zone or something. Then you cage them. And then when they come out of cage, you find them and you kill them. And they never get off the record or anything. If you play like that, all ruthless and ignore the Survivor rulebook, I'd put him right there. He can flick. That's true. I don't know how strong that is. Now, Blight is my main. I no longer believe he's S tier. And I am really torn whether... He's A tier for sure. He's still very strong, but I don't know if I should put him above or below Spirit. I'm honestly thinking below Spirit because Spirit can force a 50-50 at almost any loop, and Blight can't. Blight is very good still, but a good survivor will go to those tight loops where, since your hug tech's gone and you're a lot slower than you used to be, thanks to all the add-ons getting nerfed, Blight is a lot more predictable. Good survivor can use certain loops to make things very difficult for Blight. Basically, he can't use his power, and he's forced to be an M1 killer in the short term. Long term, he's still got his power. You can't hold W against him effectively. He's a very, very good killer. But yeah, he's... I think he's just about the same power level as Spirit, maybe slightly weaker. He can flick, sure. But Spirit, I think Spirit is more lethal. Although Blight certainly has better map mobility, but Spirit has better chase, in my opinion, if you're really good with Spirit. Speaking of good chase, let's talk about the twins. Holy crap, this killer is strong. Jeez, the twins are strong. I almost want to put them above Oni, but I don't think I will. Because I think a good team can still counter Victor. But man, dude, the twins have so much flexibility. The quality of life changes buff them so much. And I'm a twins enthusiast. They're like my third favorite or fourth favorite killer in the game. They're lethal as hell. And now that you don't need Toy Sword, they can run double speed. Or you can run like Silencing Cloth for free undetectable all throughout the match. No, I don't think you believe in the power of twins as much as I do, Flash. Honestly, their split pressure, their ability to get an entire team on the ground puts them above these two, in my opinion. They are the slugging king and queen. It's built right into their kit. The pressure, the snowball that a twins can create is second only to these guys up here. Yeah, that's where I'm putting them. Another killer might end up above them. We'll see. Trickster. Oh, low B tier, I think. We're getting a bloated B tier. Yeah, low B tier. Trickster's rework may make him easier to play for plebs like me, but for a good player, I've heard that he's actually... I've heard from a couple Trickster mains that he actually feels worse now. Why am I putting him in B tier, though? Because he can still camp. He can still, like, deny unhooks and shred through hell states. But this is against a really good team. Against a really good team, he's going to use his bat a lot and zone. Yeah, I'm going to put him bottom B tier. Nemesis. Oh, this is a tough one, actually. He's always been close to Demogorgon in power. He recently got buffed. I don't think he's better than Hag. Do I think he's better than Demo? Meh. It's probably mid B tier, I'd say. That could change as I play him more. He's still got huge weaknesses in being so loud and so tall. You can't mind game with him. But his tentacle's pretty strong if you use it well. But it still takes a long time to get downs with him, man. I don't know. Pinhead, oh god. I want to put him C tier against good teams, but the chains can be really good. I hate him, but I'm trying not to let my bias cloud my judgment here. He's probably better than all these guys. I put him up there. His box is guaranteed slowdown, even if it does nothing against good survivors. They'll rotate and they'll take care of it. Well, low B tier, top C tier. Splash, that's not that big of a difference. I think I'm reserving the C tier for weak killers, people that I think are truly weak. And there's at least one of those coming up. You know, okay, I'll put him top C tier. I'll put him top C tier. I think against a good team, you could argue that. Anyways, what were we talking about? We were just talking about Pinhead. Yeah, high B tier, but man, this killer pisses me off. He's so inconsistent. This is the most casual tier list I've ever done. All right, next. Artis. Ooh, she's going up. She's going up, she's going up, she's going up. 5th strongest killer in the game. Amazing map control. Amazing anti-loop. 115 range killer. Can down multiple people at once. If you're skilled enough with her, you can do incredible things. And I think she's better than Oni. Because she is never an M1 killer. She cannot be denied. Very strong. Not quite at Blight's level, though. I think Blight's map mobility still gives him an edge. And, you know, Artist is a bit slower. Sadako. C tier. Definitely. Sorry. No, below Pig, even. Sorry. The Condemned playstyle is just not that great anymore. One Pump Willie, of course, can make it work all day long. But just because he can work, it doesn't mean she's a good killer. I mean, I've seen Ghostface mains make Ghostface look amazing, and no, he's not. I think the Condemned keeps her above Legion and all these guys, but she is so loopable, and she's a stealth killer who's not stealth. She's got a lullaby. Dredge has been changed. I gotta really think about this. I would have put him high C tier before, but he's changed. I think he's actually very good now. His map mobility is really good with the buffs. His anti-loop is better. He gets Nightfall more often. Jeez. I put him right there. High B tier. I actually think he's there so far. He can still get run, but his map mobility is incredible. Yes, it's RNG. It's RNG. But you know what? RNG screws a lot of these guys. That's where I'm putting him for now. It could change. I actually think he's better than Wraith. I think his, like, and by the way, the gaming athlete would put him A tier. So this is conservative compared to where he puts him. He's a Dredge main though, so you know, I'm not. Love Dredge though. Wesker's still A tier, but how high A tier? He can't tunnel like he used to. Yeah, I'll put him right there. He's still very mobile. Still good, relatively good anti-loop. Still decent slowdown. Ability to detect survivors that are vaccinating. But he can't tunnel like he used to. He doesn't really have anything that really makes him stand out against these guys. He can't snowball. He can't hard tunnel. He can't do anything super dirty anymore. I might put him below Huntress. Yeah. His mobility, though, I'm going to put him above Huntress. Very close between these two. All right, Knight. I don't know where to put him. I don't think he's C tier anymore. I'm just going to do a bit of a cop-out and put him right there. I don't know where to put him. That's the best I can judge based on what I've seen. He's solid. But I think he still suffers against really good survivors. Though his split pressure is quite good. This could easily change. But for now, on August 31st, 2024, that's where I can put him. Changes are very fresh. Skull Merchant. I mean, if you go by the stats, there she is. But no, I'm not going to put her there. Because I think a good team who's willing to play against her will beat her. I don't think she's that strong, honestly. High C tier, maybe. Like, I think a strong team is gonna trounce her. But again, this is like Knight. I don't have a lot of experience with Skull Merchant. This is the best I can do with her for now. She's still strong at controlling an area of the map. But is she hag strong? I don't know. Yeah, I'd say these guys all have an edge over her. I'm gonna put her high C tier. But she statistically is the strongest killer in the game, so take that with a grain of salt. Larry is a good killer. Singularity is a really good Singularity. I would put, like, right there. Maybe there. He's got incredible map control. Good chase. But EMPs are still a thing, man. They still counter him pretty hard, and you can loop a singularity. And he doesn't have anything that really screws survivors over like these guys do. He doesn't have the snowball, the incredible anti-loop, the incredible chase, the incredible tunneling. I'll put him right there, about mid-A tier. This girl's in a similar spot. And by this girl, I mean Xenomorph. I think she's very similar to Wesker. Maybe a bit better. It's very close. I think she's a little bit stronger than Huntress. Wow, Huntress is really getting pushed down here. She can get hits on all kinds of loops. I've seen it. She's got amazing mobility, good detection. Her built-in counterplay isn't too strong, but she suffers a bit from map RNG. So low A tier, I think it is. Chucky, he's going to go up a bit. I'm not certain. I really don't know. I think because of his small stature, his undetectable, his good anti-loop, and his currently very short cooldown, I'd put him actually above Larry. Again, does that make him top 10? Yeah, I think he's top 10. Probably. We'll see though. He's got competition. Now, unknown. I would love to put him in the A tier, but I don't think he is. I think he's about right here. Very high B tier. Unknown has pretty good anti-loop and great map mobility. But you can loop if you're a good survivor, you can loop an unknown for a long time. And the weekend wears off so much. Like, you miss a follow-up shot, and unless you're hiding from the survivor's line of sight, you're just going to lose it over and over. Like, yeah, he can wall bang, he can damage them through walls, and he's a bit of a pub stomper, but this is against really good survivors. I don't think Unknown is better than any of these guys up here, and I don't think he's better than Plague either. These two are weird, and very hard to place for me. I've heard conflicting things about Vecna. I think an extremely good Vecna is definitely up there. But I'd put him at the bottom of A tier, I think. From what I've seen. Now, I think he feels awful to play, but that's a bit of a hot take from me. I think most people really like how he feels. Let's move our camera down a bit. Nah, that's actually fine. We'll leave it. We can scroll. Vecna has good mobility, good detection, weak but usable anti-loop. Unfortunately, he gives the survivors superpowers, which sucks, which is why he's at the bottom of A tier. But a good Vecna, I think, can do some real damage. Dracula. I know where to put Dracula. I'm going to put him right here for now. Now, take this with a massive grain of salt. I have only played a little bit of Dracula. And I'm not basing it off my play experience. I'm basing it off of like 12 videos I've watched. I think he's got some good abilities if you use the wolf very, very well with his hug tech, which might be removed. And if you use the bat effectively to go between floors and cut out a lot of travel time and maybe counter hold W like a discount spirit, as well as get really good with his pillars of flame. Yeah. But I would say he's going to be inconsistent against good survivors. Very hard to place though. So right now this is my Dead by Daylight killer tier list. Billy is king, Nurse is queen, and Freddy's in the dumpster. All four of these down here need help, especially these bottom three. They need help. Trapper's gotten so much of it, but it just never ends with Trapper. Killers I'm a little uncertain about. I already mentioned, but Dracula with a grain of salt. Knight, I'm not super confident in my placement. Chucky's a bit iffy. Vecna's a bit iffy, but for the most part, yeah, this is where I put him. And if you look at it, notice how the top and bottom are very small. So, you know, in terms of power levels, we want most killers to be in the A and the B tier. That's where they're comfortable. So, it's my dream. Probably will never happen, but it's my dream that someday all the killers will be like A and B tier. I don't know how you nerf the nurse, though, without making her garbage. But that's a topic for another day. Thanks for watching, guys. Check me out on Twitch, twitch.tv/Doncroft. I have ferrets, and I play mostly on weekends because I'm busy teaching. Thanks for watching. And if you got to the end of the video, type Dracula is a good doggo. I'll see you next time.